Morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought I would do a little mini series on my Christmas journal. For those of you that have been watching my videos recently, you'll know that when I saw this Snowy Christmas Garden kit by Pt.1, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I had no doubt that this was going to be my Christmas digital kit for my own personal Christmas journal this year. But then Pt.1 did it to me again, and they brought out their traditional Christmas kit, which is all greens and reds, absolutely gorgeous, very traditional colours. And although I've made red green journals, Christmas journals in the past, and that's the whole reason I wanted to depart and do something completely different this year. When I saw that kit, I was just blown away and downloaded that kit as well. And as you can see, I mean, these are the stamps that go with that kit. I'll put the description box and the proper name to the kits down below as always, so that you can find them, so don't worry about that. But this is the stamp set that came with the traditional, as I call it, green red Christmas kit that they did. And as you can see, I ran off and I started playing with this, so much so, let me show you, I cut out some and I started playing with glossy accents on them. And oh my goodness, they're gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So these I was playing with a couple of days ago, and they've been drying. On this one, I've just embellished with glossy accents the actual holly and the berries. On some of these, I've actually covered them completely with glossy accents. On the December 25th ones, I've just used glossy accents on the numerals. This one you could use any time of the year, you don't have to use it for Christmas. And I layered up one of the small images on top of the bigger image, and then touched it up with glossy accents in part. And similarly, the mistletoe, sorry, forgetting my words, the mistletoe on this one and the holly on that one. So I did start playing with these to make dangles and one or two other things that I had in mind. But my head kept on coming back time and time again to this beautiful Snowy Garden digital kit. And this is one of the pages. I've printed it off in 4 to a page, and you'll see why I've done that. But I just absolutely fell in love with the images. And in the end, I decided, no, I'll have to go back and get my journal done in this and get it out of my system, because the pages are just beautiful. This one is a full page. I've printed 2 to a page. Just love the colours. This is one of the journaling cards. You get oodles in this kit, and I haven't by any means printed out the full kit. There are 3 kits. There's a Snowy Christmas Garden Baubles kit, which if you look in my playlist, and I'll put a link down below as always, there is the video that I made using their bauble kit. There is one that has lots and lots of seed packets that I've made up into a advent calendar. And then there is the main kit of journaling pages and tags, which is what I've got here. Now this, again, I've printed off 2 to a page. And as you can see, I actually printed it off a full size, and that is the size of the stamps when they're printed off full size. So these stamps up here are this size when you print off the page as normal, but as I say, I've printed off 2 to a page, and I'll show you why in just a moment. These are the tags. Beautiful, beautiful little mouse there, and I use that mouse to showcase in my baubles, and Angela has used that little image in her shaker card video, because he's just too cute for words. So that's that tag page printed off, 2 to a page. Then this is some of the seed packets. Oh, 2 copies of that. This is one of the journaling pages, and this one's from a slightly different kit. It's called Christmas Moments, if I remember right, this one. But it just shows how well everything complements each other. So you can swap between the kits, and I have done and I will be doing. And then this is another one from that same kit. Ignore this bit at the bottom, that was a complete misprint, but actually it's replicated this image on top of some of the tags down below, and actually it looks quite nice. So those are some of the pages that I've chosen from the chapter 1 kits, and let me just clear the decks here a little bit. There we go. I have also printed off some vellum pieces. Now this is something that I've just computer generated myself. Anybody that saw the accordion fold oriental themed book or journal I did a while back will know that I quite often like to computer generate these images. So these are a couple that I've done specifically for this little journal that I'm working on. And then this is one of the pages that, again, I've just printed off onto vellum, and I just wanted to have a little play with these. So let's get started, because what I thought I would do is I would turn it into a little mini series so that you can, if you want to, play along with me or at least see how I put this little journal together. Now, as I'm sat here, I have no idea at all what I'm going to do. Those were just some of the pages that I was champing at the bit to play with. But if you do want to play along with me, this is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to make a traditional journal. I'm going to make another one of those accordion fold journals. This time, obviously, not oriental themed. This time it's going to be soft, feminine Christmas theme, or that's my cunning plan. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I had this piece left over from when I was making those oriental themed accordion journals. God, that's a mouthful. The previous journals. And the reason being was that it's not quite, if you can see there, it's not quite been folded correctly. So this I just had to one side in my stash, and I was going to chop it up and just use the cardstock. But I thought, well, actually, this is only for me, this little journal, and I don't mind that there's a slight lip there. In fact, I can disguise that quite easily. So if you want to play along with me, you will need to make one of these. So I will give you the dimensions and tell you how I've put it together. And it looks complicated, but actually it really couldn't be easier. So first off, you need 3 strips of cardstock, and what I have here is this actually is 280 gram cardstock. Sorry, I don't know what it is in pounds, and it is an off-white colour. It's a lovely, almost very pale cream colour, which works perfectly with that chapter 1 Snowy Christmas Garden digital kit. So I cut 3 strips, and all the strips are 4.5 inches in height or 12 centimetres. Now the first strip is in length, measures 14 inches or 36 centimetres. And the second strip, if I open this out, this is where it might get a little confusing for you. The second strip starts here and ends just here. I'm going to try and pull the camera up a little bit to see if I can help you with that a little bit, because it gets a little bit unwieldy when I unravel it. So let's go back. This is my first piece here, from here along here to this edge here, and that piece is 4.5 inches by 12 centimeters, and in length this way it is 14 inches or 36 centimeters. So that's my first piece. Now your second piece is slightly smaller. That one goes from here to, I'm just going to move along a bit, to here, this bit here. And this piece is 12 inches or 30 centimeters. And then my final piece goes from here all the way along to here and is folded back on itself, and that piece is 16.5 centimeters or 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters. Okay, so all you do is you take your first piece, which was 14 inches in length, and you measure from the right hand end 2.5 centimeters, and you make a fold. You do a score line and you fold it back on itself. Okay, so the piece that you have left you fold in half. Okay, so you've got a piece like that folded in half, and then this bit that you folded is 2.5 centimeters. Okay, now your next piece is your middle piece, so that goes from, let me show you again, goes from here to here, and that piece is 12 inches in length, and you just fold it in half, so it's actually lying underneath the bit from your first piece of card that is 2.5 centimeters. And the reason for that is because if I get my bone folder, and true to form, it's nowhere, there we go, I've got it now. The reason for that fold is to give you a pocket here, and your last piece you need to do a fold of, again, 2 inches on one side or one edge, and then on the other edge 3 inches. Okay, now you fold this one back in and it gives you a pocket at the top here, and the one that you created on the other side is laid over the top of your middle piece like the front cover pieces or the first piece, and it gives you a pocket here. Okay, now all you do is you fold your pieces backwards and forwards to create an accordion. So you've got your first fold in your first piece by folding it in half after you have scored the right hand edge. Your second piece is 12 inches, and you just fold it in half. So this is my second piece, and we've just folded it in half again. And then your third piece, after you've turned 3 inches in on your right hand side and 2 inches in on your left hand side, then the piece of card that you are left with is here, and again you just fold that in half. Okay, so it sounds complicated and I hope you can follow that. If you can't, let me know in the comments below, and I'll try and do that slower and actually show you how it's done. But really it is quite simple once you've scored these pieces. And the only thing that you have to remember to do, because there's our 3 pieces of card there. So this is our first piece, this is our second piece, and this is our third piece. So each of those pieces, once you've done your scoring from the end, whether it's both ends or one end, then all you do is you fold your piece of card in half, and that will give you your accordion fold. And what I did on this one is I put a dab of glue along the first page, and then a dab of glue on this side here, and then down here. And then I ran the whole thing through my sewing machine. So as you can see, it's stitched all the way round. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be working with. And let me just hold up this card again, which will show you the measurements. So all of the strips are 4.5 or 12 centimeters in height. There we go. The first piece is 14 inches or 36 centimeters with, on the right hand side or right hand edge, a fold of 2.5 centimeters. The middle one is 12 inches, and all you do with that one is fold it in half. And the last one is 16.5 inches or 42 centimeters, and there is a 2-inch fold on the left side and a 3-inch fold on the right side, and then you just fold that last piece in half. Okay, so that's what I'm working with. Now I have 1 or 2 other bits and bobs tucked to one side that I may or may not use. I have some of this lovely bridal chiffon silk, which I thought I would use because it goes absolutely perfectly with the bluey greys in this. And I thought, well, I say absolutely perfectly, it's a slightly brighter blue, because this is almost like a soft grey blue, but it will give a little bit of lift, a little bit more colour, because this is going to be a very, very subtle little journal. And then I have some of this lovely Christmas pudding tape or ribbon that I've had in my stash for years. And I thought I would try using this. I don't know, as I say, I've pulled these things out. I'm not necessarily going to use them. In amongst my library cabinet cards, I came across this one which said Castaway Christmas. So I'm definitely going to be including that and decorating it up. I also have this vintage postcard. Now, I've been hoarding this for ages. It's an absolute treasure. As you can see, all the way around the outside is beautiful detailed embossing, a lovely snowy scene and Merry Christmas, and it has been written on the back, and I absolutely love this. And as you can see, I paid £2 for it when I found it, but I've had it in my stash for absolutely ages, and I thought the soft pastel colours would go nicely in this particular little journal, so I definitely will be using that. Another thing is, this is a first day cover of some Christmas stamps, and again, same colours, maybe a little brighter than the journal, but I actually thought that I would include it in, again, like this sari chiffon, just to give me a little bit more pop of colour. Not much, but just a little pop. And then, again, something that I also have had in my stash for ages, this is printed vellum. Don't know where I got it from. I think it was from Hobbycraft. So I've got stars there. I've got some beautiful Happy Christmas script there. I think you can probably just pick it up on camera. Maybe if I pop that behind, you might be able to see. But there you go. You can see that a little bit better. But there's all sorts of... what is this one? That's the same. This one is snowflakes, as you can see. So all sorts. Let me find different snowflakes there. Where are we? As you can see, I've chopped some out and used some in the past, but not a lot. So I just on that some Christmas music paper, so I thought I would include some, or maybe an odd sheet of that in my journal. So let me pop those to one side and show you what I've done so far. So as I say, I didn't have to do anything with this, I already had it, but I did make a start yesterday in addition to printing out some of my papers, and I printed out the envelope page. Let's see if I can find that for you again. Quickly flip through and see if I can find it. I think the one I've got in here is the one that I printed it off to a page. Where are we? I found that I had to do that with the kit for the simple reason that because of the dimensions of the little journal that I'm making, the main pages are too big for me, so I had to reduce things down to, here we go, 2 to a page, or even 4 to a page. But this one was an exception. This is the page, that is the page that you get in the kit. Here you can see I've reduced it down twice, but when I actually decided I was going to use it, I printed it out full size, so you can see it's much bigger, and you'll see why in a moment. So I printed out the envelope, and I decided that I would make a little shaker style, if I can, shaker style window. So when you look at the envelope, it's actually got a brown square there, and all I did was I used an X-Acto knife and cut out that square. I had a little tiny cellophane bag, and I fussy cut, printed this image, which is a full page, printed out 2 to a page, and then I fussy cut out that little snowman, as you can see there, and I just put him inside the cellophane bag that I had with a dab of art glitter glue, and then I filled up the bag with some glitter. Now the glitter I used was this Paper Mania iridescent glitter. It's really, really fine. I like using this. It comes from Hobbycraft here in the UK, and is cheap as chips. I've got several tubes of this, and it comes out every Christmas because it's really lovely and makes nice snow. I was going to use the, I think you saw me use or show these the other day, the rainbow quartz triangles, because they look equally as lovely as snow, or inclusions in these sorts of shaker windows, but they were a bit too big. I wanted something finer, and as you can see, I've just got the odd 1 or 2 still left in there. So as I say, I fussy cut my snowman. I glued him just gently with literally a dab of the art glitter glue to the inside of my envelope. I then stitched it round on 3 sides, poured in my glitter, and then stitched it across the top. Now, as you can see, I've covered the back because what I did was I cut out a part of one of the images. So it was this image, and I just cut out a little piece of card to have those 2 trees, and I just backed so that you can see. So I just backed the envelope, not the envelope, the little cello bag. I just backed it with a piece of that image to give me a background, and then as you can see, my snow is just piled up, or my glitter is just piled up inside, but it's all trapped nicely inside. There is no way that my anything I put in this envelope is going to catch on the little cellophane bag that I've put in there, because my backing image is over the top. And then, as you can see, it's here, and I've left it so that you can see. That's my backing piece. But then what I did was I used a piece of plain, very gentle tea-stained paper, and I've just lined 3/4 of the envelope inside, because this envelope will be sealed up like that inside my journal in due course. Now my plan is, and then I stitched all the way around my envelope, and I've done it just in white thread or slightly off white thread, all the way around, including the back there. If I open it up you can see better. I've stitched it all the way around, only really because it adds a bit of interest. So my cunning plan, I think, I'm not, as I say, this is a work in progress. I'm not fixed in stone about what I plan to do. In fact, I haven't got any ideas really as yet what I plan to do. But what I did think of doing with this was having it as an inclusion, maybe inside that front cover there, with the idea that the flap and the back of the envelope, well, the flap will be stuck down so that I can do that with it and put something up inside there and then close it back down again. Now, my idea for that is because it will make the glitter inside move as you do this each time, so it gives you a little bit of interest. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because when the journal is closed, then obviously the snow is down at the bottom, but as soon as you move that, your snow is going to move. But what I also thought I might do is not glue that flap down completely and just leave a little bit, so that I've got a little bit of a tuck spot at the top there, and then obviously have my main tuck spot up in here, up under there. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about how I'm going to use this envelope. What I also worked on yesterday was the front cover. Now, I printed off that wonderful, wonderful full page image, and I reduced it down to, first off, 4 to a page, thinking that that would fit the size of the cover. And actually, it's way too small. So what I did then was I printed it, printed the page out 2 to a page, and on the page it actually has a border around it. Let me see if I can find the page for you and explain what I mean. Okay, so this is the page when it's printed out 4 to a page, and as you can see, it's got this border all the way around. Now, when you printed it out, when I printed it out, God, that's a mouthful, 2 to a page, the border overhangs the edge of my journal. So then what I did was I cut out one of the images so that it was out of its border. But I did that very carefully because I still wanted to use some of the border. And then I recreated the border by putting the image on top. So as you can see on the back, I've just done a little bit of paper matching so that I can have a little trim of my border all the way around. So I was quite pleased with how that worked out. I haven't got the full border because if you see on the image, there's this beautiful little black and white decoration here that goes round, and I didn't want to lose that. So, this kit is just exquisite. Now, that fits perfectly and covers the whole of what I term as the front page or the front focal point of my my little journal. So that's as far as I've got, other than to dig out some of my trims. And I was looking at this trim yesterday because I really don't want this to be a fussy journal at all. I really wanted to keep the kit as my showcase because it's just so pretty, and this is for me, so it doesn't matter. Now again, I have this tassel lace in my stash, and for me I find it quite a hard one to use. Many a time I pull it out and it's not right for what I wanted to do. So I pulled it out on this occasion, and actually I do want to use it. I wanted to have some sort of embellishment on here, but not too much. And I did think about putting it on the bottom there, but then decided not to because it's going to dangle down too much. And again, as I said, I wanted to keep it simple. But what I am planning to do with it is I think I will put it across the top there. And it almost gives, I kind of thought, well, don't think I'm being daft, but I thought it kind of gave me the look of icicles hanging down off a tree or snow dangling down. And it was just simple enough not to overface the page. Now, I am planning today to obviously carry on with this and do a bit more, and I'll show you what I've done either tomorrow or in a couple of days. But part of what I'm thinking is I think to have something down here at the bottom, not too much, not too big, just to say Happy Christmas or something like that. On my Oriental journals, I use those numbers that I computer generated, and originally I had planned to do that on this journal. But I just love that image so much that I think it would be a shame to cover it up, even with a roughly torn pocket like that on the front. I don't know. I'll play a little bit more today and see what I come up with. If you have an opinion about whether I should use that vellum piece on the front, please include it in the comments down below and we'll see what the consensus is. I may not follow you because I may just do my own thing, but it'd be interesting to see what you think. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for, as always, bearing with me. I hope you're going to like this little mini-series and have a go at playing along with me. As I say, if you are completely and utterly confused about how to make this, then I can very quickly do a video and show you how to make the actual base. But it looks complicated, but trust me, it isn't. So on that note, I'll leave you in peace and see you soon. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye for now.